We're joined this morning by Wendy Arnold, the Board of Education in Sylacauga. And Wendy, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Do you get up normally early like this?
Well, I do. So it's not too bad. I'm just not out and about this early.
Okay. You've got a big event coming up face to face. Talk about that.
We do. We have a huge event that we have started this year. Dr. Freeman has wanted to kind of see some things, some issues that our students are facing. And one of the biggest issues, of course, that our students face is social media. So we are trying to give parents as much information as we can about how to monitor their children's social media, but it's not going to be your typical presentation or lecture. Chris Carden has been working with us with the Attorney General's office, and he has 3 special agents that'll be coming in to speak with us, and they're going to give us actual examples and live cases of things that are going on here in the state of Alabama. So we're real excited about that.
We just had a news story earlier about a man in Bay Minette who went on Facebook and issued terroristic threats. Social media has evolved like nothing I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Exactly. It's awful, and our kids are faced with so many things. And you know, one of my biggest concerns is that parents aren't monitoring their children's phones and their computers. You know, this year our school system went 1-to-1, so all of our students have Chromebooks. So, you know, it's so important. Our kids are living in a world that is so technological, you know, beyond what we can even imagine sometimes. You know I have to get my own children to maneuver me around on my own phone. So it's quite scary, the things that our kids are facing. We want to make sure the parents are aware, but it's not going to be your typical presentation. Like I said earlier, you know, it's not going to be that boring lecture, and it's going to be very interactive with the parents. We did ask, though, for this particular event, because when we met with Chris, he explained to us that it's going to be a very open and honest conversation. So there's going to be a lot of specific details, raw details in this particular talk. So we've asked that it just be the parents or guardians, adults. We're asking the students not to come for this particular one. They will be invited to some others. We'll have child care provided if they need that. So we're real excited about it. We hope we have a good turnout.
That's coming next week.
It's next Tuesday at 5:30 at J. Craig Smith. And again, we're really excited. We hope we have a good turnout for this. And it's just going to be the first of many opportunities to help our parents.
You know, a number of kids in today's society are being raised by the grandparents. And, you know, grandparents are less proactive on social media than parents would be. And, you know, the kids can get on social media and before they know it can be in deep trouble.
Big trouble. As a matter of fact, when I was speaking with Chris yesterday, one of the agents is going to show us that he can set up a profile on a social media site, and within literally a matter of minutes, he's got hits from people all over the world. You know, I know even, and not to say anything negative about my own parents, but you know, we have to help them maneuver around their phones because they didn't grow up in this, you know, in this era, and I mean this time. I shouldn't say era, but you know, it's different. So we do have quite a few grandparents that are raising their grandchildren, and it's hard. It's very hard. But you know, nothing. I was the guidance counselor at Nicholas Lawson for 10 years, and I don't think anything would bother me as much when I would talk to a parent about concerns or things, and they would say, well, you know, I can't invade their privacy, and you know, it really bothers me because my children know they have no privacy.
There's no space there.
There's
right?
no privacy. They don't own anything. You know, we have to go through that speech every now and then because that's my responsibility as a parent. And as you know, and as an educator, it's to help our students. You know, and any time that we can help our students with things, that's helping our community. It's helping our school system. It's helping all of us. So it's a very hot topic, and it's very important.
Parents pro event like this, you think?
They are. Parents can't get enough information. You know, some parents don't want all the information because it is a lot easier. I'll be honest, it's a lot easier not to monitor what my children are doing than to monitor it. But, you know, they ask, they want information. They want to know what's out there, what's going on out there. So it's a very important event, and we have had a lot of positive response from parents.
And as you talked about, next Tuesday at 5:30, and it's not going to be your conventional speech or talk. You're going to have interactive sessions there.
Yes, we're going to have a lot of things going on. Like I said, there are 3 special agents that will be here along with Chris, along with the press secretary for the Attorney General. So it's going to be a great interactive, a lot of discussion, a lot of questions. One of the things that we're going to do, though, because sometimes parents don't like to ask detailed or private questions, so we're going to have the parents put their questions on a note card and ask them that way, because there are a lot of questions I might want to know that I don't necessarily want to ask out loud. So it's going to be a really great event. We're excited about it.
That's at 5:30 next Tuesday, face to face, and this is something that more and more school systems are going to find out and delve more into social media, and there's so many parts to social media that by the time you figure one out, there'll be 3 or 4 more.
Exactly. You know, statistically, our kids are on Instagram. That's the #1 site for our age students and adults. You know, I personally like Twitter, and that is the lowest used app.
I'm not even there.
Well, you know, it's just it's ever evolving. You never can. I know my dad had a little health scare this summer, and we got my husband set him up a Bitmoji.
A what?
A Bitmoji.
Okay.
But it's a little a figurine that he can use on social media that looks like him. It had on a Yankees hat, and it was just so fun to watch him, you know, monitor that around while he couldn't really do anything. But we would get text messages of just crazy pictures of him and his Bitmoji. But to get him to understand what was going on, it was quite interesting.
And of course, Harold and Wendy Brooks are the parents, or Harold and Becky Brooks are the parents to Wendy. And I'm sure Harold watched the game last night with his Yankees cap on, right?
Of course. I had him and my oldest son on the phone at the same time trying to figure out what was going to happen. So, yes, he's a huge Yankees fan. He's excited. Face-to-face coming up Tuesday at 5:30.
And this is a very serious situation with social media. And it can be positive, it can be a good tool, but can also cause all kind of havoc in families' lives, including our kids.
Yes, extremely. You know, some of the biggest problems that I dealt with at the middle school were they came from social media. They came to school with them every day. You know, somebody had videoed a fight. You know, the first thing kids do now is, if there's something going on, they'll pull out their cell phones and they'll video. So, you know, that's out there. And they think, and that's one of the things that they're going to talk with us about. You know, kids think that everything is, if they delete it, it's gone, but it's not. You know, it's up there in that cloud somewhere and it's going to be seen. So, you know, they're leaving a huge digital footprint. You know, we refer to it that way. And they, you know, it's so important for them to understand. You know, employers one day will look at things. My niece went to medical school, and before she went, they advised her, delete all of your social media, all of it, because people will look to see, you know, before you're accepted anywhere into a medical program, they're going to check you out. You know, and we have found that to be very true, that employers of our kids at the high school will get on social media and see what that kid's like.
And, you know, for whatever reason, we think what we video or what we say is safe.
Right.
It's not.
No. And, you know, and pictures. Kids will send pictures, sometimes inappropriate pictures, and they get passed around.
Sure.
And, you know, and one person will give them to another, and then it just continues till hundreds of people have this picture that you don't necessarily want out there.
Absolutely. Face-to-face Tuesday at 5:30, and that's at J. Craig Smith Community Center?
It is.
And this is your first year with the Board of Education.
Yes.
What are you doing there?
I am the RTI specialist. That's response to intervention. What we do is I go around to all of the schools, and you know, one of our big focuses now is not just talking about a student and their academics, because our students are so they're like a big puzzle that comes to us, and we try to fit all those puzzle pieces together, whether it's, you know, not just academics, but home situations and needs that they have. You know, so we're trying to help the whole child, the whole student. And what I do is I go to the different schools and see any struggling students and see what they need help with, whether it's academics, we put them in intervention classes, or if they have needs at home or whatever, family issues. So it's really been fun to get to see all of our students. I love being in all of the schools and getting to see them all.
All right, Wendy Arnold, our guest this morning, face-to-face Tuesday at 5:30 at the J. Craig Smith Community Center, and they just need to come? Is that
They
it?
just come. Just please come. You never know when you have these events how many people will show up. They might, you might have 5, you might have 100. So we're really hoping, because we've put such, a lot of time into this, and Chris has really been great to help us, and these men are taking time away to come. So we hope we have a good turnout.
And Chris, former police chief in
Yes.
Sylacauga, and long time in law enforcement, and he's well thought of in the community, and he really wants his hometown of Sylacauga to be on the cutting edge of technology, and social media is something that is growing larger and larger, and trying to get our arms around it can be a difficult task sometimes, but Sylacauga Board of Education doing this, Sylacauga City School System, and Wendy, we thank you for coming this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
We got more Daybreak right after this.